Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with Juanmita Lopez, boxing royalty, I like to say. It's a pleasure speaking to you. For many people who don't know that your father, Juan Manuel Lopez, is just kind of a big deal at once upon a time in boxing. But
Yeah,
you just signed with Top Rank and you'll be fighting on February 14th on a stacked card with a lot of talent. So how excited are you to sign with Top Rank and make your pro debut in Madison Square Garden?
yeah, I'm really happy. The Madison Square Garden is a really big scenario. I always want to fight there, and I got the opportunity now. I just want to show the people that I have a lot to show in the ring. You know, I want to make a statement in the ring that night.
Absolutely. There's a lot of father-son situations, right? The father becomes a champion and then the son kind of comes through because of that. But your situation's different. You and your
Yeah,
father in Puerto Rico are the only father-son duo to qualify for the Olympics. So that's not just it's because of my dad. Like you have a great amateur background. So can you tell the fans a little bit more about that?
yeah. Always the people say that I was winning fight here in Puerto Rico because of my father. Because my last name. But when I go to a world championship, I was in the young world championships and now in the Olympics. I showed that I have my own career. I made my own way in the boxing world, and not everything is by the last name.
Yeah.
It's because I have talent and I work hard for my career and for me.
Yeah, and even then, you did really well. The Hassan boy is person who went and got the gold medalist, but we know that doesn't really mean anything now in the pros, right?
Yeah,
So,
he's two-time world Olympic champ. You know,
mhm,
so he was the number one in the list, and I was the last name in the ranking. So
mhm.
we got the hardest fight in the first round, but we do a great job right there.
Yeah, the car that you're on, Keyshawn Davis and Dennis
Yeah,
Ferencik, they fell short of a gold medal, but where they're at, one became a world champion, the other one's fighting for a world champion, and if he wins, so pros is a completely different beast, and so
yeah.
your transition as a pro, how would you say your style is? Is it a little bit like your father's, or do you have your own style?
I fight like him. Now that I got the time to start to establish my style. I'm more confident because I don't have to convince five judges. I'm more relaxed. I can put my hands harder. So I think in the pros I'm gonna be more strong than in amateur. Because
Mhm.
I have time and I can do more things in the ring. I don't have to be rushed to show the judges that I'm winning. I can put my hand harder. So yeah, we're going to be like my father a little bit.
Yeah, it's awesome that you get a lot of support out in New York. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans out
Yeah,
there, and who's also on the card would be Xander Zayas. I know
yeah.
that you and Xander have probably a great relationship, so you get to fight with the number one contender for one of the belts. What's your relationship with Xander, and what has he told you coming into the game?
Sander is a friend. That the sport gives me. So I'm very happy to be in that car with him. Yeah, I know Top Run we is making us to be together in many cars. So I'm happy to be in a car with him because he's now on the rankings. So I know they going to make me to be like that in many times. In the next
Mhm.
years, I'm going to be with him in those rankings. Well, not with him, but you know,
Mhm.
in my own way. But they gonna give me a good way to become a champion one day. That they do like they do with him. So I'm very excited to be in that car with him.
Just making sure you're making your debut as a flyweight.
Yeah. Yes.
I know this is a long way, you're just entering, but just kind of learning a little bit, when your opinion about your division. I know there's guys like Kinshiro, and it's a pretty dangerously stacked division that doesn't really get too much coverage in America. But who do you think is the best flyweight and why?
I I think the best flyweight is Jesse Bam.
Yeah,
Jesse Bam. Bam Rodriguez is I grew up watching him, you know, so I think he's the best in the division right now.
at flyweight or at
Super,
a.
super flyweight.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
super
you're
flyweight.
so you're at super flyweight. I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
115.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah,
So a little bit bigger, got it.
yeah,
You did your amateurs around flyweight then, right?
yeah, yes,
Okay. So moving up a little bit in weight.
yes.
So with that all being said, there's gonna be a mixture of, maybe some fights in America, maybe out in Mexico and maybe even potentially over in Asia, because of the divisions. Would you ever consider going over in Asia and fighting if it became like something like that?
Yeah, I can I for me I fight whenever the company tells me to fight, you know.
Yeah.
So if it's in Japan, in Mexico, here in Puerto Rico, I fight whatever the title is, you know.
That's awesome. Because I know there's a lot of scenes, that's all over the place around your weight
Yeah.
class. Um, Lastly, my last couple questions. Whoever you got to work with, spar with, anyone that you got to kind of share the ring to kind of get some of that early championship pedigree.
Yeah, last week I sparred with Emmanuel Rodriguez. He
Hmm.
fight with Naoya Inoue one time. So yeah, he's a two times world champion, and he's one of my idols here in Puerto Rico. So I'm very excited to share the ring with that kind of fighters that give me experience and hard work in the ring. So I can learn a lot from him.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's a beast. Like you said, he was a
Yeah,
champion. Him and Inoue were going at it for a little bit, and he became a champion again afterwards.
yeah.
So, big things on him. So, my last two questions is, was there any other like Puerto Rican legends that you got to kind of bump around, like a Tito Trinidad or like a Miguel Cotto or any legends that you potentially been able to have a chat with?
No, well, I know training with them, but I talked a lot with Miguel Cotto one time.
Mhm.
You know, when I signed with Top Rank, because he's from my same hometown. So there are fighters that support the oncoming fighter. You know, so I have the opportunity to talk to him, and he gave me a lot of consejos. I don't know how to say in English, but
Secrets of the trade, right? He gave you
yeah,
some
yeah,
championship secrets.
yeah. So that's for me is very great. You know, hear the when they talk to me and say and tell me what I got to do that is good and what I not got to
Hmm.
do that is bad. You know.
Has he got to see your left hook? If you get a Miguel Cotto thumbs up, that's a good
Yeah,
thing too. You got a
yeah,
mean left hook.
yeah. That's the best points that he have. So we gotta learn a little bit of that.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, look, the fight fans are gonna be excited. I know that the fans are gonna be tuning in and I know your dad's gonna be, rooting for you. Xander's gonna be rooting for you. All New York's gonna be rooting for you. So for all the fans that's gonna be watching this and be tuning in on February 14th at Madison Square Garden, what do you want to tell them?
No, they keep looking at me. I'm going to the Puerto Rican fighters, Puerto Rican fans in New York. I want to make them proud. You know, I want them to come to the Madison Square Garden and see me making what I know to do good. You know,
Hmm. Awesome. Where can they follow you on social media?
Juanmita Lopez on the score in Instagram and Juanmita Lopez in Facebook.